joined today by another learning advisor in the Learning Hub, Lam. You can see her picture there. She's just here to observe this session. She may also answer a few questions, so it's a bit of a bonus having two of us in this workshop today. Okay, before we start, has everyone downloaded the materials? You can give me a thumbs up if you have, or a Y for yes in chat, either way. Thank you. Great. Critical mass. Perfect. Okay, before we get started, I thought I would ask you a few questions. Now, you can either unmute and tell the group if you feel comfortable doing that, or you could just type some of the answers to these questions into chat. So just interested to find out where you're at. What's your research area? How far are you into your candidature? Are you just starting in July, or have you been doing it for one research period? Whatever. What online tools are you currently using? I might learn something from you. That would be great. Bonus. And why have you come to this workshop? So there's a few questions there. You can answer all of them or just some of them. I'll give you a few moments to type into chat or unmute if you'd like to. Okay, so thank you. Sumaheni, clinical pharmacy. So, okay, one research period. Ooh, you use Grammarly, and I'm going to write down some of these other online tools down. Covidence, what's that about? Covidence sounds like something to do with with COVID. Obviously not. And you want to learn how to write better. Yep, great. Oh, now they're coming in. Okay, so Kate, you're doing embryology, July. Okay, so you're just starting. Yes, good. You're starting to start out on the right foot. Perfect. Kay Dove, you're researching, oh, transgender health, starting. Great. Anything in particular? Yep. Good. You're just getting some general knowledge. Oh, for systematic reviews. Thank you. Yes. Goodness me. Well, embryology, clinical pharmacy, transgender health, cinema. It's great. You're nearing the end. Okay, so you probably already know a lot of the online tools that we're discussing today, Sophia. So this might just consolidate or fill in a few of the gaps or inspire you to use them again. Goodness me. Immunology, vaccine, adjuvant, immunology, quite far along. Submit your thesis. I'm starting to write my thesis and papers. Okay, yep. So our editing and proofreading skills will be quite useful for you, Vicky. Florence, help me with, right, yep, allergy prevention, mid-candidature, foreign aid, want to stay on top of what's happening in my area, great. Koala health. Oh, so Rachel, you're an honours student. Okay, so that's fine. These are online tools for HDR, but it's relevant for you as well. That's great. EndNote, okay. And you just started looking to Rightful. So we'll talk a little bit about EndNote today, and we will do quite a bit of work around Rightful. And you finish your lit review. That must be a bit of a relief. Cure Your area is health, system and policy. Just started in March, online tools, right? Goodness me, and the list keeps going. Marine and climate change education. So a lot of you started in the 1st of March. So Rivka, you're using Grammarly and Quillbot, okay? Yep, great. Jessica, gestational diabetes, 3 months in, EndNote and COVID, all right, to improve my writing skills. And Andrew, halfway into my, yes, hello Andrew. Used EndNote, Grammarly, switched to Rightful. Okay, so remind me to ask you what your thoughts on that are. Which one you like more, Rightful or Grammarly? And you're looking into NVivo. Okay, yep, looking into more resources. Great. Thank you very much, everyone. I've got a good sense now of where you're all at. And hopefully I will be able to add value to your experience. So what we're going to look at today is some online tools that will help you find and keep track of your sources. It's all about management of sources, isn't it? Also, tools to help you expand and improve your academic vocabulary. Then we will turn to look at Rightful in particular for editing and proofreading, and we might have a little bit of a conversation about some of the other proofreading tools out there. And then if I have time, I'm not sure that I'm going to get there, I will also have a look at some tools for the sort of practical, pragmatic management of your candidature. If we don't get to that, don't worry, because there are lots of links for you to explore in your own time. So before I start, I'd also just like to add, this workshop, I really like it if it's interactive. So please feel free to interrupt me at any time. You can either interrupt me via chat or unmute and just go, hey, Amanda, stop for a second. Can I ask this question? Can't promise that I'll be able to answer every single question. But if you get those questions out there, someone else in this space might be able to answer the question too. So please really feel free to talk to me. Really happy to have a conversation. So let's start with online tools for finding sources. So tell me, how are you finding sources at the moment? What tools, what systems are you using to find relevant material? So I'm just looking in chat, Google search and databases. Okay, library databases. Good, yes. These are Google search and PubMed, so another, yep, database. Google Scholar, yes. Okay, that's great. All right, so we're not going to talk about those. We're going to talk about something else. So yeah, Google search, Google Scholar, library catalogs. You can find obviously a lot of your sources by typing in a few of your keywords. But there are other ways that you can find literature that is relevant to your purposes. So there is this one tool called Connected Papers. Who has heard of that? You put a Y for yes, N for no. Yes. Do you use it, Sophia? No. Okay. Not yet. Okay. So this tool, as it says here, it can give you a sort of visual. It's visual, so it can give you an overview of papers that are connected to a specific source. So you can use one of your seminal papers, your core papers, as a starting point. And then from that, you can find works that are cited, possibly cited in your original paper, or cite your original paper. It finds those, but it can also just finds papers that are similar in theme to your paper. So this is the link. As I said, at the end, I will give you a PDF copy of these workshop slides. So don't worry about, you know, trying to write down this link at the moment, but this is what it looks like. So when you click on that link, you come to this page, and it says to start, enter a paper and build a graph. So you enter your paper here. So this would be a paper that is very, very relevant to your research. And then you just click on that to build a graph. Okay, and this is what happens. So we're going to use one of Land's papers here. This is Land's 2016 publication about English in the primary classroom. So I put that in here, and it built me this graph. Now, what it shows, you can see Land's paper there. It shows papers between the period of 2005 and 2022. And the different colours show the different dates. And the closer the circles are to each other, the more relevant the sources are, and the more connected the sources are to the original paper. So it shows you that. And then it also shows you two other things. On this side, it shows you, gives you a summary, the abstract of the paper. And then on the other side, it shows you the original paper, and then all the different papers that are in the graph. So you can click on one of these, and you can build another graph to find papers that are connected to that one, etc. Now, if you click on the expand button here, it gives you this list, and it shows you title, author, the year, how many citations are in that paper, how many times that paper has been cited, how many references are in that paper. But this is probably the most useful column, how similar the paper is thematically to your particular paper, to your original paper. So here, if I was going to look for some papers, I would only probably choose this one here, the second one, because it's the most similar to the original. Okay. You can download that list there. Download that list, so and look at it in your own time. You can also, you can see above it these two quite nifty little features. You can find papers that are most commonly cited by papers in the graph, or you can find papers that that came after your original paper that are connected in some way. So prior and derivative works there. So you can see that's quite useful to start to build up your reference list. Any questions about connected papers before I move on to something else?
Can you set a like date range to look at when you're making the graphs?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think, though, that it does. I think it's only about a 20-year window. That's been my experience so far.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Does the university offer a premium account? No, we don't. But the free version, I'm only using the free version, and it's quite okay. It's enough to meet your needs. Yeah, all of these tools that we're showing you today, there's a free version. We're not asking you to pay anything. Yeah, so it's really useful. Okay, connected papers. That's the first one. There is another one called Research Rabbit. Who has heard of that? No? Okay. So this is similar to Connected Papers. I think it describes itself as the Spotify for academic research, meaning that when you find and save relevant papers, it will then give you a list of other recommended articles. So it seems quite useful. But what I want to show you, let me just find it. I'm going to bring it down here because I've got it up. So can you see my screen now with Research Rabbit on it?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So what does it show you? So firstly, it talks to one of the referencing management systems, which is really useful. So if you find a particular paper, you can download that citation or export that citation to Zotero, which is really useful. It also shows you, let's have a look, SimilarWorks. Let's have a look. Oh, it does the same thing. So it does a visual graph, but it can also give you a timeline, which I think can be quite useful. Doesn't look that useful here. What else does it do? You can also, I believe, add PDFs. So you can do everything that Connected Papers can do, but all in one place. And you can also link it to Zotero. So in some ways, it has more functionality than Connected Papers. Again, it's completely free. So that might be another one to have a look at in your own time. Okay. Any questions about that one? I'm going to give you a little an opportunity after I've showed you one more tool to explore, one either Research Rabbit or Connected Papers, etc. So you can have a look in your own time. Any other questions about this?
Amanda,
Yeah.
what is Zotero?
I will come to that. Yep. It's a referencing management system. So it's a way of saving and managing all your sites,
okay.
all your
So
sources.
So it's similar to like EndNote?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Thank you. Thanks for that question. Anyone else? Any other questions for me? No? Okay. Thank you, Lan. Lan's put in that you can sign up for free and get unlimited use. Was that probably to do with Connected Papers? Is it only working with Zotero? Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like it only works with Zotero. Having said that, you can export, you can export papers that way, and then you could easily import that into EndNote, I think. So anyway, it would be something that you have to play around with, I think. Yeah. Okay, let's go back. Whoops. Where am I? There we go. All right. So that's Research Rabbit. Now, there's another tool that I'd like to show you. So this this one is called Elicit, and there's the link there, elicit.org, again, free. So with library databases, with the library catalog, for example, you have to use your keywords. The beauty of Elicit is that you can type a research question into its input box and find relevant papers that way. So it's quite useful. So this is the one that I've done. So I put in, do academic citation practices differ within disciplines? That's what I'm interested in. That's my research question. So I put that in and I click search. Now what it does is, it's again a three-part visual. You can see here a list of some of the citations. Now it looks like a very old one here, Vicky, because you were asking me about dates. This is actually a seminal paper in this field, right? Academic citations, it's this person, Hyland. So that's really useful that it's captured that one. It's captured another Hyland one, but from 2019, 2011, 2014. So it's found 4 different papers. Interestingly, that's not generating as many papers as Connected Papers or Research Rabbit, but maybe it's finding different papers. So using a variety of these tools may help you cover all your bases. Now, this one is really useful because it gives you a summary of the abstract. So one line, what the article is about. Obviously, from that, you can decide if this is relevant for your purposes or not. And then the other thing that it has is it gives you a synthesized summary of all the sources that it's found. So if we look here, the papers suggest that academic Hyland found this, blah, blah, blah. Having said that it's a synthesized summary, it doesn't quite look like a synthesized summary. It looks more like a list, but it's still quite useful to have a read of that and get a sense of what all these papers are and how they fit into with each other. So yeah, Elicit is another one. So question for you, there's your summary, top 4 papers. Can you copy this summary into your chapter? What do you think? No? Why not? Okay, why not? Yeah, okay. Yes, okay. So it's AI generated material, okay? So it would be considered plagiarism. So yeah, you can't do that. But still very useful to find papers. The other really useful thing about it is you can go find a particular paper. Say you like this one. Oh, this is really great. And you click on it, and then it will dig deeper into that article. So it gives you the summary, it gives you outcomes that were measured, etc. Gives you some information about the reliability of this source. So there's no mention of a funding source, and then identifies papers that may have critiqued this paper. So if you're looking for, I've got a lot of papers that are very similar to each other. Is there, do have other people thought about it in a different way? Then this might be your way into it. These people are critiquing this paper. They're saying something different, possibly. So that's really useful information. That's probably all I want to say about this. Is there any questions about Elicit? Give you a moment to think about that. Okay. All right. So, what I think we might do is I'd like you to have a little moment. I've spoken for so long. It's your turn. I'd like you to explore one of these tools. Um, because they're free, you don't really need to sign up, etc. Um, I think I'll put you into breakout rooms, but I know that some people hate going into breakout rooms. So please don't feel as if you're being forced into a breakout room. Having said that, you're mostly HDR students. This is a great networking opportunity, a good way to share ideas. So I really encourage you to go into breakout rooms. And the other thing I would say is that breakout rooms work best if one person shares their screen and you all do it together. So maybe when you go into a breakout room, maybe you could decide which of those three tools you'd really like to focus on, and then one person take the lead, share your screen, and have a look at it together. I've said 5 minutes. That might be a bit ambitious, but I will pop around to see how you're going, and it might be a little bit longer than that. Okay. Does everyone have those three links? Maybe I should put these in here. Everyone got them? Connectedpapers.com. There's one. Research Rabbit AI and elicit.org. There we go. So 5 to 10 minutes just to explore it. This is 20. Let me just. Opening all the rooms. Thank you.
Do you want to like, I don't know, let's say like biomedical and life science and all subject areas? All subject areas? Okay, cool. So this is what we got. So when we type on that, this is something that is like showing something like, yeah. Do you think this is relevant to you? There's no research found in the biomedical and life science. In the all subject area, we can only found 3. So pharmacy role in manageable respiratory. I think they okay. Where are you? By the way, are you in the workspace? Oh, okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. How do you get it? I mean, like the background. Oh yeah, it's got it. Oh, just two. Something that is relevant to just two. Let's see. Oh, okay. Hmm. Hey, what is that? We got something. Oh, and fight against COVID. Something related to, role of pharmacy in the fight against COVID-19. Above. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pharmacy. Yeah, because that's somehow related to your study, right? I think. Do you want to see that? I don't know. Add to collection. What will happen? Do you want to see this one or the second one? Second one. What about what about and then I will type. Okay, let's see. That's somehow related to that. Oh no, well, only one. Oh, just one. No way. So like, what happened? Uh-huh. Oh, oh, I see. Yeah. Alright. And then I think we were just like, yeah, we were just yeah, meet you in the see ya. Good, good. No, I just started. Just started. See, yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, I haven't started yet. I was like working on the theoretical paper. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. I will meet you in the tomorrow. So nice to meet you.
I'm sure you found this as well. Um, that, you know, there's just too much out there. And you can get very overwhelmed. So how do you organize your sources and keep track of them all? So some of you have already said that you use EndNote. I'm going to just briefly talk about the other one as well, called Zotero. So these are the two that we recommend. The library recommends EndNote, and it provides a link to downloading it for free. You have to use your university email in order to get it for free. It's free for you as long as you're a student at the university. Once you leave the university, you can no longer access it, but at that point you can easily export your library to another referencing system. Yeah, the library also provides training on it. So here is the place to go link. So workshops, training, software, and tutorials. So the downside of EndNote apparently is that it's not very user friendly. Now, I'm not that tech savvy, and I use EndNote and I find it okay. So yeah, I don't have any issues with it, but some people do. So one that is simpler and seems to be quite user friendly is this one called Zotero. So I just did a quick Google search for videos on Zotero, and look at this. I found several recordings, so lots of resources out there to help you, you know, understand this resource. So Zotero, like EndNote, they allow you to save sources and insert citations into your writing in the referencing style that is required. And they also help you will automatically generate a reference list for you at the end of your chapter or wherever you're putting it. So really useful in terms of saving you time, but also ensuring accuracy. So really, for those of you that are writing a PhD or master's thesis with lots and lots and lots of sources, really recommend that you explore one of these. Zotero, it's web-based. You can download for free. Now, there are limits, but I think the limits Lan, do you know what the limits are? Is it 200 sources that you're allowed to have in your library? I'm not sure, but it's quite, you need to explore that. It is for free. But I think it's quite reasonable for our purposes. I know lots of people who are doing PhDs that use Zotero. So yeah, you can download it for Mac or you can install it on your browser. So there's the link up there, zotero.org. So have a look at this. Imagine that you're in the library catalogue. You've found this article, you've brought it up. This is perfect. I want to keep this one. Well, if you have installed Zotero onto your browser, you can click on that, and that will bring up Zotero for you. Then you can automatically upload the reference into Zotero and hopefully into a folder that you have created in your library. So here I go, click, I want to put this in, saving to, I want to put it in my malware folder. So I click on that, it goes straight in there, and you can see here, this is all the bibliographical information. So it saves it there, and you've got all the information there. So useful. You can also save the PDF. that shows you there whether the PDF is saved there. Then now we're in Word. So Zotero also has a word add-in, so you can just pretend this is your paragraph. You're typing away, you think, I've got to put in my reference here. You click on Add or Edit Citation. In the preferences, you will have selected the appropriate referencing style. So you click there, and then it brings up this little dialog box. What's the citation? So you put in a keyword. So I want malware. Here are several different references in my library to do with malware. I select the one that I'm talking about here, click that, and then straight away it goes into my document in the correct citation style. So quite useful. Then you can, so that was this part, add or edit citation. You can also then click on edit bibliography, and it will put that reference into your reference list at the end. So you can see how this not only helps you save sources, organize your sources, but then it really makes it easy for you when you come to incorporate those sources into your writing. So Zotero and EndNote. Okay, any questions? What does the Add Note button, where is this? Oh, this would add, so this is where you can add your own notes. So if you're doing some note, if you're taking notes from the article, you can just add some notes in there.
So can we add our own reference actually? So if there's no for example, IoT something under the Zotero cannot find the reference, and we like find it by hand, then can we add it in the end?
Yes, you can. You can also, what you'd probably do would be to put that reference manually into Zotero, and then add the citation that way.
Oh, okay. So must the Zotero first. Okay.
Yes, if you're using Zotero for all of your citations, because then you need to have it in there so that you can generate that bibliography at the end and include that reference in there. So
Oh,
yeah. You wouldn't do it separately.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Does it automatically put the source into your endbib file in Note, or do you need to remember to do that as you go? Does it automatically put the source?
I think it basically, you know how when you do your in-text references, and then once you import it as an in-text, it'll automatically put it at the end of your reference list. Or do you have to click the add edit bibliography?
With Zotero. With
Zotero, do you have to do it manually and remember to put it in for each one, or does it do it automatically?
Okay. That's a good question, really good question. Anybody like to answer that one? Because I don't know the answer to it. I would hope that it automatically does it, but I don't know for certain. Anyone know the
I only thought to ask because you said to press the button add / edit bibliography.
Yeah. It's just that, that's just the way that you generate that reference list at the end. So I'm not sure about the chronology. I'm not sure whether it's a case of every time you have to click on it, or whether you get to the end and then you just click add your bibliography.
Okay, so you still need to press the button though, where it's EndNote will do it automatically. Okay, all right, that's good to know as well. I'll write that down.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for that question. That's great. Any other questions or comments? What are the main differences between EndNote and Zotero? Well, one's web-based, the other isn't. One's you'd have to pay for, except that we're at the you can get it through the library. What other differences are there? So Rachel just talked about the fact that EndNote automatically generates a bibliography at the end, whereas here with Zotero you have to add or click on this to generate that bibliography. I think it's just a case of user friendliness. I think this one, Zotero, is considered much friendlier, much easier to use. If you've got lots and lots and lots of sources, you might want to think about using EndNote because you've got a licensed version, which means there will be no limits on it. I can't think of anything else. Lan, can you think of anything? Any other differences, main differences between Zotero and EndNote?
So I think for EndNote, it may have some like sophisticated functions. For example, we can add comment to the note, and we can categorize into themes. But when I was a PhD student, I used EndNote. And I think that sometimes EndNote have difficulties, generating the PDF file. That's why I'm not favor of EndNote anymore, and now I use Zotero. However, it is important to note that Zotero and EndNote, because they are software, and sometimes they make mistakes. So, for example, if we look at the examples on our screen now, the full stop is misplaced. The full stop before the in-text citation. So it should come after the second bracket. The full stop should not come before the first bracket. So we know that the software has its limitations. So that's why when we use EndNote or Zotero, it is important for us to double check the reference. We can refer to the citation guide on the library website to make sure that there is no errors in terms of punctuations, formatting, spelling, etc.
Okay. Oh, that's great. Good point, Lan. And I think the other point that you raised the other day, Lan, was that if you decide, anybody who's deciding to use Zotero and wants to download it, make sure all of your other applications are closed, because sometimes there can be a bit of a problem, like conflicts between different things, or you don't install it properly. So make sure that all your applications are closed. Thank you, Lan.
The Microsoft are open. I noticed that if I open my Microsoft Word document, then there will be a mistake, an error when we try to install Zotero. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I'm talking to all of you about Zotero being great, and a lot of people use it and a lot of people rave over it, but I've got EndNote installed. So when I've tried to put Zotero on, I've had all sorts of problems. They seem to clash with each other. So yeah, it's a case of just playing around with the two different referencing systems, and see which one suits your purposes. Yeah. I use EndNote because I have a lot of sources, and it is also one of the 4 options for citations from Google Scholar. You mean 4 options in the sense of importing references? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's really useful. Lan, do you know which file format is used for Zotero? Is it there's all
I haven't looked at this, but I have no idea. But like for the reference from the library website and everything, it is automatically imported, and I have no issues like adding in-text citation and reference at the end, the PDF form. So
Yeah, it was just more that about Google Scholar. I was thinking which text type would you use to import to Zotero? I don't know. That's something to find out.
We can
Lots
look
of
into that
questions.
further.
Lots
Yeah.
of questions. Thank you, everyone. Any final questions for us all to work out together? Nope. All good to go. It's 11:04. Let me just give you a bit of a break because I know we've been chattering for an hour now, and it's online. It's all a bit intense. So can I, give you 5 minutes break? Come back here at 11:10, and then we will go forward. Thank you. Are you back? Maybe everyone could give me raise their hand or a thumbs up or something to say that you're back. Yay, thank you. Excellent. A few people sitting there. Hope you got up out of your seat, walked around a bit. Great. Okay. Yes, thanks, Jessica. All right. So let's move on now. So firstly, we looked at ways of finding sources, you know, the different tools that you can use to find and manage your sources. Now we're going to just turn to tools that will help you with language and with the writing. And I know that a few of you at the beginning of this session were saying that you're here to, you know, find tools to help you improve your writing. So hopefully these tools will be really useful for you. So the first one I want to draw your attention to is just a free dictionary online. It's called a reverse dictionary. Has anyone heard of that? Anyone used it before? So it allows you to search for words by definition. So you go, oh, what's a word meaning? And you've got the meaning, but you just can't think of the word. This is really useful. Okay, Sophia, you've used it before. Yep, so here, what's the word for hard to believe? Can't think of it. So you can just type in hard to believe, and there are a few examples. Interestingly, they don't really differentiate between different types of vocabulary. So we've got adjectives, but then verbs. Interesting. There we go. And why by is part of hard to believe is anyone's guess, but there we go. Maybe useful. Another tool that I could point out to you is one called Related Words. So helping you find words related to a single word, so finding synonyms. So here we have the word pandemic, and we can use, you know, here's the word epidemic is probably the most similar, though not technically, not really, but anyway, there we go. So that's two very reasonably useful online resources, but the one that I really want to draw your attention to is this one called Skell. Who has heard of Skell? Yes, no, thumbs up, thumbs down. No, Kate, no. All right, few people saying no. Sophia, yes. Sophia, anyone else? Other people heard of Skell? Okay, it's a corpus tool. So it's used by it's been used by language researchers since the early 2000s. It's a leading corpus tool. So it draws on a very large corpus of texts to give you insights into words and phrases. Now, what it's drawing on are texts from the news, from academic papers, from web pages, open source, non-fiction works, blogs. So it draws it from everywhere. And apparently there are around 60 million sentences in the Skell corpus and more than 1 billion words in total. So with that sort of, you know, amount of data, it can really give you some useful insights into formal language, everyday language, professional language. So really useful tool. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about it. Here is the link. So it has three main ways of, and they're quite interesting, of exploring language. So the first one is by example. So it provides examples of particular words in context. The second one is called Word Sketch, finding collocations. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. And the third one is finding synonyms for you. So let's have a look at an example. So this is the examples function. So we've typed in the word consequence, and it gives you, I think it's up to 40 example sentences with consequences in it. Now, yeah, okay. So what's useful about this? Have a look, have a read through these and tell me, can you see any pattern or anything about the way in which consequences is used? Okay. Thank you, Rachel. Yes. Thank you, Sophia. So there, yeah, all the different example sentences, but yeah. So it gives you patterns. So we can see from these hits, as Rachel said, they're pretty much all of them are negative. Different contexts, but there is a sort of negative connotation. So we can sort of extrapolate from that and make some rules or get some insights. Oh, consequence is often used when we're discussing something, that something in a negative context. So you can see how the examples is quite useful for finding these patterns. Then we have the word sketch, and this is really, really useful. So here you can find what we call collocations. So words that go very commonly together with consequence. So what verbs go with consequence as an object? Suffer the consequences, face the consequences, fear the consequences, mitigate the consequences of, etc. So if you're trying to work out what verb that commonly goes with a particular word, then maybe think about using the word sketch function. What else do we have here? Anything? Yeah, and of course you'd be choosing your verb according to your context. Adjectives with consequence. So the adjectives that most commonly from, drawing on this corpus are used with consequence: severe, serious. I would have thought negative would have been in there, but there you go. So and I always say to people that word sketch is also quite useful because it also shows you what modifies, what can modify, or what can come after consequence. So you can see prepositions, for example. I don't know about you, but I find it incredibly difficult sometimes to know whether a word has the preposition in or of or through, etc. Well, using word sketch, you can sometimes it can sometimes give you insights into the prepositions that go after it. And then, of course, you have this similar words function. So this is finding similar words, though not necessarily synonymous words. And the words that it finds are generated in this word cloud here. Yeah, okay, so I think they're the most used synonyms are the bigger ones. Yeah. Okay, any questions about that? Any thoughts? What's your impression, or what's your initial reaction to this? Does it look useful? Okay, yep, good, Sophia. It is really useful. I use it all the time. Okay, would be great for changing out certain words. Yes, yep. Particularly using something like the word sketch, where, because sometimes what happens is people find a synonym and they think, yep, well, that's a synonym for this word, and they put it in there, but they don't realize that actually while that word is synonymous, it's not actually used with that other word, so it doesn't collocate well. So using word sketch really helps you choose the most appropriate word or synonym for your word. Yes, if you're finding you're using the same word over and over again. Yeah, okay. So I thought we would have a little practice using Skell. So again, this is free. So there is the link, or you just need to put into Google, into your browser, Skell, Sketch Engine, and it will come up for you. What we're going to do is look for collocates of the highlighted words. Now you can either use the examples or the word sketch function, because as you saw here, it shows you a lot of the word, in a sense that's also collocations, like disastrous consequences, that often goes together, severe health consequences. So you can use examples or word sketch to find collocations. So I have 3 examples here. Now these are in that handout that I gave you. Everyone got that handout? What you need to do, if you put up into Skell, it won't give you anything. You need to find your keyword. So this is about productivity. There are some techniques you can use to do what? To put up your productivity. Put up being a phrasal verb. This is another really useful thing that you can do. Like you can recognize, well, put up is a bit informal. What word is more formal that I can use that's more appropriate to my writing context? Well, you just put in the word productivity into Skell and you will find the verbs that collocate with that. Again, services and relationships. I think I'll put you into breakout rooms again, and maybe one of you could share your screen and have a go and decide together which word you think is the most appropriate for this context. Here we go. I'm going to recreate the rooms. There we go.
One's nice and easy, at least. Is the other one services? The university is something different support services. Yeah, this one's a bit of a hard one. I don't really know how to answer this one, because it would be kind of like the university provides different support services, but they've highlighted term services for us to put into Skell, and it's not really helpful. What do you reckon? It's different services, but maybe maybe I just put service. Okay, if we just put service in there, then provides, operates, includes, runs, offers. That makes more sense. So I'm just going to write a note that it had to be service. Yeah, so without the plural. So then provide. And then you just change the verb to be in plural. Offers. Operates. Okay, well that's good to know at least. And then peer facilitated programs can also help students something relationships. Try the plural, but we'll see. Yeah, okay, so it has to be. Okay, so you can't put plurals in. And then the relationship with the subject. So develop relationships in the community, or establish, explore. Okay, so that is kind of helpful because I know one of the problems I was having with my paper that I was writing at the moment was I kept using the word should, and I'm like, I hate this word, or like highlights, or like a lot of the same words that I'm like, so it'd be helpful to bring them, but it's good knowing that you can't put like yeah. Yeah. All right. See ya.
Oh, you're here.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I'm here.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I haven't actually used Write from the Say, so I've downloaded it.
It's there, whether you can use AI or not, but it's best to check with your supervisor. Yep. All right. So, using Writeful if you use. So you download it. Have I got anything about where you download it from? Here. So you can download it here. So you can download it for Windows, download it for Mac. I also think there's Writeful for Overleaf, which has something to do with latex or whatever it's called, if anyone's using that. It gives you insights into grammar, spelling, punctuation, style, word use, and you can download it there. Now here's an example. I pretend I've downloaded it. So what it does is it becomes an add-in into your Word document. And here's my writing. Here's an example of my writing. If I click on full edit mode, it gives me it starts to correct it. Now, it gives you the opportunity to accept or dismiss these. So as I said before, because AI is not foolproof, it's really important that you read through its suggested changes and either accept them or dismiss them. So that's full edit mode. There's also a proofread mode up here. So when you click on this, you either get full edit or proofread. What proofread mode does is it gives you edits at the word level, and as you can see here, it's giving you the percentages. So it's suggesting that in present era is incorrect. In the present, it's giving you percentages, how confident it is that this should be in the present era. 94% confident about that. versus 6%. So based on that, you'd go, oh, this is probably this one here, the present. By various human-induced. Okay, so it's saying that mostly, and it's pretty confident that this is mostly how it's used, with a hyphen between it. So you'd click on that. Okay, I thought we might have a quick look, and I've just suddenly seen the time, as per usual. So I thought we might have a quick look at a paragraph in Writeful. What I might do instead of getting you guys to do it is just show you what happens, and we can have a quick talk about it. Okay, so I've got this. Can you all see my handout?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Okay. So see, I've got Writeful here. I've already downloaded it, so I go there. Now, if I go, I don't want to check my whole document. Let me just say I want to go to this paragraph here. So, as summer approaches, we need to start to remember to slip on sun protective clothing, slop on sunscreen, slap on a hat, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I wanted to check that paragraph. So I go check paragraph. And what am I in? I'm in full edit mode. Now, it's made a substantial number of changes. As summer approaches, we must, more formal, remember to wear sunscreen, wear sunscreen, wear a hat, blah, blah, blah. What do you think about that change? As summer approaches, we need to start to remember to slip on that, and it's changed it to this. What do you think?
It doesn't know the context. So obviously the slip, slop, slap is like a slogan that we're trying to enforce.
Exactly. That's my, yes. It doesn't read intertextuality. So this is drawing on, this person has rather cleverly drawn on that health promotion campaign, that public health campaign of slip, slop, slap. What it's done is said, it's looked at it and gone, slip, slap, slop, slap, they're very informal words. So Writeful is very good at choosing a more formal word for you, but it hasn't read the context. So I would dismiss this one.
It also looks like it automatically tries to make things more concise.
Yes.
Yeah.
When it comes to sunscreen, we all know we need to, yes, we all know that. Yes, we need to protect. We need to wear it to protect, and it's added ourselves. So that's useful. It's done something quite useful there. And then we see, but what about the sun protection factor known as da-da-da, we see on our sunscreen bottles? It's changed it to in our sunscreen bottles. What do you think?
That doesn't realize that it's like it's on it, just the context of it.
Exactly. So I actually I chose this example because I really wanted to point that out, that it's really good at picking up the minor errors, the grammatical problems, etc. But you need to be critical. You need to engage with this critically. You cannot just accept everything because it doesn't read context well. Okay, very aware of the time, so I might just move on. There are a couple of really cool features in Writeful. One of them is this feature. It's called Sentence Palette, so you can find it in your app. What this does is it allows you to browse commonly used phrases for each stage of your writing. So, for example, if this is, and because Writeful is primarily based on scientific articles, it's showing you a lot of examples from that context. So here, the things that we do in an abstract. We, talk about the importance of the topic. We highlight the gap in knowledge. We talk about the aim of our study and its significance, blah, blah, blah. Well, for each of those, what we call writing purposes, it gives us some useful phrases. So if you're stuck for how to start or how to signal to the reader that you are actually talking about its significance, for example, then, or its importance, then you can come here and look at some of these phrases. Now, these are very common phrases, very, very common. So it's not really plagiarism, because these are just conventional phrases that we always use. Sentence palette. Oh yeah, here's another one. Introduction, some study aim, knowledge gap. I'll let you look at those in your own time. Paper structure. This examines, analyzes, covers. So it gives you some ideas about some verbs that you could use in talking about the outline of your paper. Just have a quick look here. Okay. Now, the other really great feature is this language search. So if you want to use something else other than SCEL, say, for example, you have the word, you've typed in the big issue, and you recognize immediately big is a very simple word. It's a very imprecise word. So therefore, it's not an appropriate word for an academic context. We're after precision here and formality, and this is not that. So we go, okay, let me find a synonym in context. So I want to find the adjectives that go with issue, that mean big. So we type in, not necessarily that mean big, but what words go with issue. So we go the something big issue, and then it gives us some of the adjectives that are used with the word issue, and in 38% of the corpus that it draws on, key is used. Critical is used in 23%. So you'd probably go with the higher number if it's appropriate to your context. So yeah, it finds synonyms. Another thing that it can do, you've got the word the issue, you can't work out what word, what adjective to use with that. You haven't got big, you haven't got anything. So you can find words in context. So you just type in the space, that space issue, and it gives you all different suggestions here. So new, probably not appropriate for your context, but maybe clinical might be one that you would use. It can give you a bit like SCEL. It gives you examples, so shows you how the words are being used in sentences. And if you click on one of these sentences, it gives you more of the context around that use. And the other thing that you can do is you can compare words. Okay, I've got the word bad, I've got the word negative. Which one should I use? Which one is more appropriate? Say, for example, in an scientific academic context. Well, you can, if you put in bad/negative, it will look through and it says, okay, well, 1% of papers, bad was used, 99% used negative. Oh, well, there we go. That's the one that I should be using. It's more appropriate. Okay. So I just thought we might have a look at this, but again, I'm running out of time, so we might do this together. So let's look at the words in context function, finding this a replacement word for this. So if I go up here, I go to language search, and I go, what was it? 2/sunscreen effectiveness, like that. And I click on it. There we go. It tells me that measure is used to assess, to improve, to estimate. It's only got 6% for determine. In this situation, in this context, probably determine is the most appropriate. So there we go. What's my next one? Okay. Let's have a look at this. Find synonyms in context. Maybe, oh, well, we might just do it together. So again, I go to my screen. Where is it? Okay, I go to language search and I want to find a synonym for harmful. What do you reckon I'm going to find? Any thoughts before we ask the AI? What might I find? Any thoughts? Synonym for harmful. You got one on the top of your head? Negative, devastating. Okay, devastating effects, very, very strong. So is that appropriate for your context? Negative, detrimental. Okay, let's have a look. Great. Negative effects, 57. Toxic effects, deleterious effects, detrimental effects, damaging and malignant effects. So there we go. Some useful ones. Let's just have a look at that last one as well. So I want to know, is there a prototype sensor? What's the synonyms for that? Okay. Can you all see that? Master, original, pattern, example, framework, guide, exemplar. What do you think? Would you use one of those? Why not, Sophia?
I don't think actually the prototype is, I would say, original is the closest. However, it does not really have exactly the same meaning, does it?
Yeah. And this, yeah, I think prototype sensor, it's very specialist vocabulary, isn't it?
Yeah, technical.
So
Yeah.
I suppose the point, one of my points here is beware of trying to find synonyms for very, very specialist vocabulary, because then you will be, because all of these are not really appropriate for that context. So yeah, it is a prototype sensor. There's no other word for it. So yeah, I wouldn't use any of them, even though they've come up with some ideas there. Okay, I just look very aware of the time. So I hope that is of use. What do you think? What's your impressions? Anybody like to share what they think about Writeful? Because that's the only proofreading and editing tool that I'm talking about. What do you think of its editing abilities? What do you think of that language search widget? What do you think of the sentence palette? Would you use it? Okay. Yeah, okay. We do have, Lan, I don't know if you're there. I don't have a link to the expression of interest for people to get the licensed version, the premium version. The university is offering students the premium version of Writeful, but you have to go through an expression of interest, and by doing that it will be approved, but I don't actually have the link to that, so I might have to send you that later, anyone that's really interested in using Writeful. Okay, do you mention its use in the methodology or small acknowledgement sentence? do you mention oh, okay. It wouldn't be in the methodology section. It would be somewhere at the beginning of your thesis in the acknowledgements or something. I'd be guided by your supervisor, but it's certainly not something that you'd put towards the end. You want the reader to know straight away up front that you're using this. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Lan. Very, very helpful. Yay. Click on that link if you want to get the premium version of Writeful, which will give you a few other features. Please note that Writeful has other functions. So it has things like a paraphraser and a title generator, but these are no-go areas. These would be considered, this is where it would generate content for you. So that would be considered plagiarism. So really, we encourage people to just use the sentence palette or the language search. Okay. Right, so as I predicted, I haven't got to this part. There are a few useful apps to help you manage your candidature. One of them is what we call a assignment calculator. So if you go to this, it will help you break down your research and writing projects into steps. So have a look at that in your own time. You put in your, the start date, due date, and then it tells you by which time you should have identified and refined your research question, etc. So it gives you all those different steps. Okay, Thesis Whisperer blog. That's really useful for all sorts of information about writing, supervisors, everything about the whole HDR experience. So I really recommend you have a look at that blog. A few books, How to Fix Your Academic Writing Trouble, this person, Inga Mewburn, is the actual author of the Thesis Whisperer. So maybe have a look at that book if you're looking for some more input on writing. And that's it for me. Thank you very much. Please feel free to offer some feedback. We're always really, really grateful for feedback because it helps us with the ongoing development of our workshops. Does anyone, while you're doing that, does anyone have any final questions for me or comments?
Hi, Amanda. That was great. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I was wondering more so, not on today's session, but are you also running the session tomorrow for thesis, how to write a thesis with publications?
No, I'm not. I'm thinking, no, what? No, I'm not.
No problem. Thank you.
Lan, do you know who's doing that tomorrow?
I think Alex. Alex would session tomorrow.
Okay, so Vicky,
Yeah.
Alex knows a lot about writing thesis publications, so I strongly recommend you go to that one.
Okay, yeah, I've signed up for that one. I just wasn't. I think there was a recommendation to potentially bring a publication. I don't so much have a publication yet. It's more of a draft manuscript. So I guess I'll just bring that along.
Yes, bring that along. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you very, very much, everyone. Yep, thank you, Kate, for the feedback. Thank you, Kyo. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you.